Guys, I officially love Samaipata, Bolivia. It's a beautiful little village, about 2,000 meters above sea level here in the jungle. So I'm here in the town centre, beautiful little park, it's so clean. Got some nice little statues. So here we have the Bolivian flag, the red, yellow and green one, and these green and white ones are the flag of Santa Cruz, which is the surrounding areas. I love a flag. So if you guys have watched all my videos so far, you will know that I'm in no way an expert in history, but today I'm going to visit El Fuerte, which is the provincial Incan capital in about the 14th and 15th century. And it's one of the most important archaeological sites in Bolivia. It's essentially their answer to Machu Picchu. I'm very excited. I need to find a taxi there now. Well, that was terrifying and rather intimate, holding on to the Bolivian man as he dodged potholes on the dirt road on his ancient motorcycle. But nevertheless, we are here. Let's explore. I'm excited. Firstly though, let's look at the beautiful Bolivian countryside. Incredible. Okay, I'm excited as for this. So we see here that it was a trading and administrative capital for the Incas, and then used as a fort by the Spanish, stop the Guarani warriors and allow commerce between Paraguay and Peru. But today we're more interested in the Incas, and it's really quite amazing that they made it this far down. They conquered the Andes, which is such a diverse and inhabitable region of the world, and they conquered it by they managed to build a system of roads which would be difficult. It is difficult even today, and they were doing it in the 14th, 15th century. It's crazy. Let's investigate. From here we really get a sense of how strategic this base must have been. Not just for the Incas, but also the Bolivian warriors in the war for independence. The hill is actually known as Salo de Patricia, Hill of the Nation, due to its assistance in allowing the Bolivians to keep an eye on all the wars that were happening in the surrounding areas, which eventually won them their independence. Okay guys, here we get our first look at El Fuerte. So I don't know if you can quite make it out, but it's all carved into one big rock. There's numerous sort of patterns that all represent various deities that were sacred to the Incan people 600 years ago. And the fort was used for ceremonies, burials. There's also an administrative area nearby which we'll check out as well. But sadly it was never quite finished as the Spaniards arrived just in time to put a stop to things, sadly. Okay guys, it's kind of difficult to make out even with my eyes, so I highly doubt you'll be able to make it out through the camera, but here, in this little circle shape, is an ancient carving of a jaguar, and a few meters away from it is one of a puma. Both were considered like highly sacred animals and basically the representation of deities in an earthly form. And further back, I don't know if you can make it out, there's like a little wall that sticks up. It's a slightly different color. That was built by the Incas. It's similar to these ones all down the side, if you can see around this Bolivian school tour group. And those were built by the Incas, and they're super impressive. Like, they're 600 years old, and obviously before the use of metal, but they're perfectly carved and stand to this day. It's really impressive. It's pretty cool to be here. Here we get a bit of view of these ancient Incan walls and some ancient Incan buckets with broom heads inside them. Fascinating stuff. So these are little cabins used by ancient Incan priests. And later mummies and various sacred idols were stored here. Guys, I'm low-key getting bullied by the Bolivian school field trip. I can hear them all laughing at me with my camera. But nevertheless, I find this quite interesting. So these are the agricultural plains. So they would have used these to grow various wheats and other vegetables. But I don't know if you can make it out. They're all slanted slightly. So they're leaning in towards the mountain. Same with these walls. They're built at such an angle that they're leaning towards the center of the mountain. And this was done on purpose by the Incas 600 years ago to counteract the frequent earthquakes that would take place here and keep the town safe. I find that pretty impressive, right? So long ago, yet they are still advanced in protecting their facilities. It's pretty cool. I've had to just chill for a couple minutes to try to create a bit of space between me and this tour group so they stop calling me a gringo from a distance. But anyway, look how cool this is. So here we have the Casa Española. This was a house built by the Spanish, so back in the day. If we see here is a reconstruction. So this house here was used as a fort by the Spanish as a home base to fend off any local invaders. But then on either side we have Inca houses, which were used, I guess, essentially for the same reason, but 200 years earlier. I mean, it's just such a fascinating site. Like, you've got multiple layers of history all built on top of each other in one place. It's awesome, man. So here behind the posing Bolivian school children, we have some of the actual houses that Incas would have lived in. It says on the signs here that there's about 8 houses and they were subdivided around a patio rather. Here's what they would have looked like back in the day. Here's what remains. They're estimated to date back to around 1470. So here we've got a main plaza, which would have been used for numerous ceremonies as well as the ancient ball games these societies like to play. And over here we have what would have been the main sort of ceremonial church building back in the day. The signs here says that it was 12 meters tall. And then some more little houses were just here. And I'm sure it was so impressive back in the day. Shame that it's crumbled now. Okay guys, here we have some kind of well, but almost more interestingly, can you see all these ants everywhere? I feel bad, I'm standing on them there. This floor is literally covered in ants. Don't know if you can make them out. They're all over my shoes. Here's the well. Would you drink from the ancient Incan well? Let me know in the comments. Even more ruins, guys. I've been walking around here for 2.5 hours. It's just endless houses. It's crazy how an entire town, city, can just be completely abandoned like this, right? Well, what a fascinating piece of history here in the Bolivian highlands. I think I've seen it all. I'm pretty content with my experience here today. Now I need to find a way back into the city that isn't on foot. I highly doubt my motorcycle friend waited for me as I requested. And then I'm going to find some lunch, try and work out how I'm going to get to Sucre. There's a high amount of political unrest in Bolivia at the moment, which has led to many roads being blocked. So I need to go find a bus station and work out exactly what the story is. As always, thank you for watching, and see you next time from here in Bolivia.